setting goals for how many we want to achieve when really it's completely out of, well, largely for most of the cases, I would say it's something that's out of your control. Someone's calling you directly and you're already on a call, or it's something like I mentioned to you where you're on break or something. It's not like people are just like, no, fuck that. I'm not taking that call, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like if you can't control it, why do we have a goal? And if you're not counting it, why are you telling us there's a goal? Like what the and then so I brought that up, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not paying attention to it." So it's like, and since then I haven't seen the emails come, but it's like, what like that just sort of stuff just doesn't make any sense, you know? It's like, well, we're paying attention to it, or we're not paying attention to it, but just so you know, here's our goal, and this is how many we're at. It's like I thought we weren't paying attention to it. Am I paying attention to it or not? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and like it, I don't know if that's like just call center etiquette that like supervision has to have like some asinine thing that they have to dock you points on so you don't get a fucking perfect score
To
or
be a
anything.
supervisor, you have to find an asinine metric to dock all of your
Oh,
underlings
oh,
on.
it's fucking dude, it's fucking embarrassing. Like in my job, like I had a yearly review. I think it was like February. I think they moved it to like March or something like that. But
Mhm.
anyways, so I have the yearly review, and the supervisor's going all through, through all the numbers and whatnot, showing you're doing really good here. This, like the like one recommendation like thing that they did was, she's like it's under where we want you to be, but she's like, the whole coronavirus thing right now. She's like everybody's fine. She's like if you're at least within like reach of like 7% of this, she's like that's fine. We're not gonna dock you points on that because shit's going crazy out there.
Mhm.
Um, but the only area where they docked me points was because I wasn't picking up any extra hours.
Really?
Really, that's the only area they docked me fucking points, and I was fucking livid about that.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Because what if you can't? What if you just can't? Like, what if you're not able to? What if you're working several jobs
And not only
and you're
that,
not able to?
well,
Or not even that. Like, you cannot for whatever reason.
yeah, and I mean not only that, but like I've explained this to them. I don't know how many fucking times, which tells you they're not fucking listening at all. Um, but I basically told them like, look, since my dad passed away, here is what the situation is at home. It is just me, my mom, and my brother Ben. That's it.
Seriously.
He has lifting restrictions. She has bad knees. I'm needed around the house. Like I'm the only one without the lifting restrictions. I'm good to go. So when I'm off the clock there, I'm essentially on the clock here.
Right.
So
Right. Like that's exactly the thing is I mean, on paper, yes, you can because you do have technically hours that would theoretically be available to work, but they're not there because you have other shit to do. And other people might be like, oh, well, you don't have to do that shit. It's just home shit. It's like, no, 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 you don't understand. Like, there's no one else. You know, it's like it's different. You can't just assume that like I'm choosing to make this my situation. Like this is just how it is.
yeah,
Like I can't do it. Like I'm not being lazy about it. I cannot do it. And for some reason that's really hard for people to understand.
and not only that, but like when like I was one of the pilots of the work at home program that we started doing because my supervisor at the time, she saw that I was busting my ass. She's like, you know what? I think this would be really really good for you. You know, if you want to give it a shot, great. I want you on the program. If not, she's like, I understand.
Hmm.
But I was like, fuck yeah, work at home? Hell yeah, let's do this.
I don't have to wear pants.
Exactly. That's one of the greatest fucking things. I even brought that up in a meeting. She's like, all right, so how's everybody working at home, right? Like, how's everybody feel like working at home right now? And like just doing in person meetings. I was like, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but this whole coming into the office and having to wear pants bullshit, I'm tired of it. Exactly. They all did that, and I was like, well, I'm glad you guys are laughing. I'm serious though. Screw this. um,
It's so much easier to use the bathroom now.
yeah, seriously. Like, but yeah, so I was one of the like pilots of the program because I was busting my ass, and my supervisor noticed that.
Mhm.
So the other thing that she had informed us of is that like you can pick up extra hours, you can work at home, or she's like if let's just say there comes a time she's like Andrew, you work on Tuesdays, right? I was like yeah. So she goes, all right, well let's just say for example the only time you can go and see your doctor is at like 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. She's like, so what you can do is if you want to work at the office a little bit in the morning and then, take that time to, go visit your doctor or whatever have you, and then work the rest of your shift, like whatever time you miss from, when you leave the office to what the end of your shift is, whatever that is, she's like, just add it on to the end of your shift. You're good to go. I'm like, all right, so there's at least flexibility there. I'm like, all right, that's awesome.
Nice.
And she said, if you can pick up extra hours, great. If not, she's like, don't worry, they're not mandatory. We're not gonna force you to, to take these. I was like, fucking perfect. Fast forward to fucking about a year later, I get an email from one of the other supervisors who's brought in on the program, and just essentially telling me like, well, we do expect you to pick up some of these extra hours because we're at least affording you that luxury of working at home. It's like, dude, A, I busted my ass for this position. B, I've explained I don't know how many fucking times why I can't fucking do this or why I'm choosing not to. 3, there have been issues that I've been trying to like bring to your attention for the past year, and essentially you're telling me tough shit. And fucking 4, go fuck yourselves. I'm like I one of the last times I saw my supervisor for like an in-person meeting and whatnot, I just told her like, look, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired right now. And just fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh, fucking A, man.
Fucking A. So, anyways.
So back to Home Depot.
Yeah, back to Home Depot. Yeah, which you gotta love whenever they say like, oh, hey, we're gonna have an employee survey. It's gonna be completely anonymous. You don't have to, you don't have to put your name down or anything like that. You can be as honest as you want. I'm just like, you really want me to do this?
Are you sure?
like, all right, it's your funeral. Okay. So I'll tell that story. Actually, I'll tell that story real quick, and then I actually have the fucking paper right here. I'll literally read it verbatim.
All right.
So I take the survey and whatnot, and I'm just lighting into this company like fucking it's nobody's fucking business. Because one of the things I put down was like unless you can throw or catch a football or run really fast, you don't mean shit to this company. Like taking a shot at the fact that the owner, the guy that owns Home Depot also owns the Atlanta Falcons. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like you can pay them astronomical amounts of fucking money. You're getting money from TV. You're getting money from fucking the actual games itself. You're getting money from merchandising.
But then they pay minimum wage, basically.
Yeah, and then you're just like, well, we pay above minimum wage. Minimum wage is $7.50 an hour. We start you off at $10 an hour. Like, again, that's not nearly enough to fucking live on.
No, like, that's the problem though. The wages never are appropriate for the amount of rent. The rent is too damn high, or the wages are too damn low.
Yeah, like that's
it really is true.
Yeah, and I mean that's the fucking embarrassing thing is that even if like wages go up to like $15 an hour, just watch, like literally the cost of everything up is still gonna fucking keep going up, and they're not gonna be able to fucking keep up with it.
Right, but even at like $15 an hour, is that enough for most people to live like on their own? No.
No,
like,
it really isn't.
Like that's the thing. Even if they make they'd have to bring the minimum wage up pretty dang high in order to make that actually feasible to live on for even like a meager living, honestly. Like,
yeah, and it, like I saw there was an article that I was reading. It was it wasn't like how to live how much do you need to live extravagantly. It's basically like how much do you need to live comfortably in like a 1-bedroom apartment in like each of these states. And Rhode Island was listed at like $23 and change.
Whew.
For like a 1-person, like a 1-bedroom, apartment somewhere in Rhode Island. Like they're taking like the average cost of like apartments like nationwide. Like they weren't taking like the cost of like, oh, you're just gonna rent out this room in this house and that's it.
Right.
But they were just saying like a average like 1-bedroom apartment. Which.
And there's not a lot of wages like for. especially people like fresh out of college, which is really where like that where a lot of the labor force comes from.
Well, yeah.
Like there's the wages aren't high enough for people to sustain that. No wonder why people often end up like
Like,
staying at home. And
well,
then you get into those kinds of jobs and there's really no room to go up, so you're pretty much stuck in that level. You never really get to advance.
not only that, but like you also come out of college, you're in how much debt?
Yeah, well, yeah, then there's that.
Yeah, it's fucking embarrassing. So
Yeah.
like you're spending, a good chunk of your life trying to pay back all that fucking money that you had to borrow to fucking go there with interest,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of that, money for your car if it breaks down, or you need gas, or you need this, or even the cost of a fucking car.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously food, entertainment, bills. It's way too fucking much.
Yeah.
And like my brother kind of turned me on to the idea of like universal basic income. Have you heard about that?
No.
All right. So the idea with universal basic income was Andrew Yang was running for the Democratic Party during this election cycle, and one of his platforms was universal basic income. He said basically every man, woman, and child. I forget how he would like go about doing this, but he's like every man, woman, and child would get $2,000 a month for you as universal basic income. So you can use it to pay for your rent, or you can save up money for your car, or like whatever it's going towards. Like that money is going to go back into the into the market, because you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
buying things with it. You're going to be paying your rent off with it, or it's like, oh shit, I just have this $1,000 bill from my mechanic. I have to fucking I can pay it off with this. That's fine.
Hmm.
And I was, like the big argument is like, well, we can't do that because if we do that, then people are just they're not going to go to work. It's like, well, no, because that much money is not enough to live on. Like just with that,
Right. Seriously, $2,000. What is it? 2,000 a month?
yeah, 2,000 a month. So it's five hundred
Yeah,
dollars
that's
a week.
that's yeah. You can't just not go to work. That's not.
No,
No,
no.
that's a little ludicrous. I mean, right now, I mean, it's kind of weird times and all that, but they are throwing out, or at least they did throw out at least one quote unquote stimulus check, to people,
Which was an
and
insult.
which was what?
Which was an insult
Why do you think so?
because it was for $1,200,
Yeah.
and the Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, was basically telling like everybody like, well, that should be enough money to last everybody 10 weeks. And
10
it's
weeks.
yeah, it's like, dude, what fucking planet are you on?
10 weeks for what?
Exactly, like it's $120 a week. Like you're not surviving on $120 a week unless
No.
you already own your home, like you don't owe any payments or anything like that, like you have solar panels, you're not paying for any like heating or anything like that, like you're strictly off the fucking grid in that sense, and you're just using that money for food. That's it.
Yeah. You know what it made sense is if they gave it to the people, like this would probably take a lot of work, but the people, well, maybe not because I mean they have to look in to see like whose paychecks to tax, right? See who's working right now, and know like which checks they have to apply taxes to. So if they can look at that and see who's still working, then okay, send the stimulus checks to all the people you're not taking taxes out of right now because those motherfuckers are working. Like, listen, I appreciate getting my stimulus check, but did I need it? No, like not really. I appreciate it, but like I'm sure there's someone else out there who, probably doesn't have rent this month because they haven't been working. And I don't know, maybe they would like that money, like just saying, maybe, I mean, it's great that that's what they do, but like, I don't know. It just seems like they never really fix things quite the best way, do they?
No, but in that sense as well, it's like, well, okay, you can't really tell the people like, okay, only the people that aren't working right now, like they're only going to be getting money, because then the rest of the people that are working, I mean, they can easily just turn around and just say, well, that's not fucking fair. Like we're still working here, like we're still essentially putting our lives on the line during a fucking pandemic, so you can go out and fucking get your fucking
True,
ho hos, you know.
true. Well, yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, I'm not putting my life on the line because I'm working from home, but I am still working. But yeah, you're right. There are people who are literally, like, like you said, putting their life on the line because they're out there dealing with shit every day. So,
Yeah. and like you honestly wouldn't look at like a nurse or like a even like a grocery clerk and just say like, well, yeah, you guys are essential, but not enough to get this